Would you believe me if I told you that hot chocolate served out of an orange mug would taste better than the same hot chocolate served out of a mug of any other color? Of course you wouldn't. But that's exactly what a study for the Journal of Sensory Studies found. See, they gave their test subjects hot chocolate served in mugs of different colors and sizes and then asked them to rate them. And across the board, people reported that the hot chocolate in the orange mug tasted better than any of the others, even though it was all the same. And the purpose of the study was to show that packaging matters to people. And it's exactly the reason that companies spend tons of money to create attractive packaging for the products that you love and buy every single day. The only problem is, in the church, we can be turned off by words like packaging or product or performance because we think that it cheapens the gospel. But those are the things that make up a person's experience. And they're also the things that the people at your church have been trained to use to judge whether something's good or not. It's what they can see, smell, and touch. And so if we're not intentional about the kind of experience that we're giving people, then they'll disconnect from what we have to say, even if it's the truth. I had the most perfect example of this yesterday when I took my family to go to Chuck E. Cheese. My 9-year-old daughter Scarlett was so excited to meet Chucky. And when they announced that Chucky was going to come out to meet all the kids, she abandoned the video games and totally ditched the arcade to run and see him. And then her experience with him was so perfect that I had to video it. And I wanted to share it with you today. Check it out. Oh my gosh, Silas, buddy, get the tickets!
Scarlett will get them.
That was the saddest looking mouse I've ever seen in my entire life. And I gotta assume that there was some 17-year-old kid underneath that mouse helmet who just felt like he wasn't paid enough to do a good job. But when it came to my daughter's experience at Chuck E. Cheese, that kid had the ability to make or break it. This morning, I asked Scarlett what she thought about her experience meeting with Chucky, and she sort of hemmed and hawed for a minute before she finally quietly said, "Well, this is mean, but it was pathetic." Now, she doesn't want to be mean to anybody, but she was right. It was pathetic. And if you watch the video again, you can see that before the song is even over, Scarlett is already completely disinterested and paying no attention to Chucky. She's in the bottom right corner wearing that yellow shirt. And I've spoken to worship leaders all over the place who talk about having the same sort of problem in their church during their services. That people aren't engaging with, or they're disconnected with what's going on the stage, whether it's the worship or the preaching. And part of this may be an issue of the sort of experience that we're giving people. I've had this issue at my church, and after hearing Andy Stanley speak a couple years ago about building a great experience, I began investing in that here at Moon Valley. And what I discovered was that investing in an experience that people can latch onto and remember helps them get more involved. These are a few of the simple things that I've been doing that seem to be working really, really well here at Moon Valley. I just want to share them with you briefly. The first one is simplicity reigns. See, when I first started leading worship, I sort of thought that church services need lots going on in order to keep people's attention. But the truth is, simplicity is better. If you're doing a special holiday service this year, try just doing one special service element. And it's something that you can do really, really well, and people will remember it. Or at Moon Valley, about a year ago, we started doing just one announcement during each service. It means that other ministries have to find other ways to promote their events, but it allows us to give the biggest thing going on in our church a lot of attention. The second one is powerful personalities over plastic props. You see, At that Chuck E. Cheese, if a guy had come out with whiskers painted on his face, but he was excited about being there, it would have been a better experience for my daughter than the 17-year-old kid that came out with the helmet on but didn't care about being there. So when it comes to your church, it's important to make the stage look right. All of that stuff is important, but if you don't invest in having people on your stage who are excited about being there, then your church isn't going to care either. And the last one is this. You have to keep it moving when it comes to your service. Have you ever watched a TV show and noticed how at the end of one show, they'll begin playing the next episode before the credits are even over? And they do it on Netflix now too. That's because they know that any dead space is going to lose viewers. And it's the same on Sunday morning at your church. It's worth your time as you plan your services to make sure that all of the elements, the preaching and the singing and the offering and the announcements, that they all fit together and that there's no dead space in between them. Those are just some of the things that I've done to work on planning good services here at Moon Valley. And now I'm faced with sort of the awkward decision about whether or not I call Chuck E. Cheese to tell the manager about how pathetic the mouse was yesterday. I sort of feel like if I was the manager, I'd want to know. But I also don't want to get that poor kid fired. But I might not be doing him any favors if I let him keep going on like that. I don't know. What do you think? You can leave your answer in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.